Today, let's begin with round 2. The title of today's lecture is the characteristic of the book, The Secret Mission of the Korean People, as well as that of God. The God in the book of the secret and mission of the Korean people is the God of the Korean people, the God of the universe, the God who creates things, the God who rules our nation, and the God who teaches the people of Korea. This God is omniscient as well as omnipotent, and it or he visits all the places of the universe and can talk with all the persons in the universe simultaneously. That is at the same time. The book 한민족의 비밀과 사명 as the words of God who was changed into a human being toward the writer of the book, Mr. Kim Moon. Well, let's continue to talk about the sentences of the last week. Continuation of the last week. Like this, the God who Mr. Kim Moon met is the one who rules the earth for thousands of years. Therefore, it can be said that the God is the one who is high above the level of simple masters, and he can be said to be the God of the creation, ruling and teaching the people. In many books, we can find the fact that this God was the one whom the people of the year of Hwanil, Hwanung, and Dangun believed in, and who had got the three sources of capability. Therefore, in my opinion, the God who Mr. Kim met was the one who changed itself from the God made of the absolute spirit of the universe, E, and energy key, into a shape of the human being, and he taught various things to Mr. Kim. Therefore, in my opinion, the God who appeared in front of Mr. Kim is just the God who had the body of a human being, who was changed from the absolute spirit of the universe named Igi into a sort of human being. And he taught Mr. Kim. The reason why the God in the human shape in this book, The Secret Mission of Korean People, who appeared in front of Mr. Kim Moon, is the genuine creative God of the universe is as following. First, the God in this book said that the God whom the people of Hwanil, Hwanung, and Dangun dynasty in the old times believed in and revered was just himself. By the way, according to many books related with the history of the old times, the religion which the people of these countries, Hwanil, Hwanung, and Dangun, believed in was called Shinjo. And it is said that the God of this religion was called 삼신상제. It means the God who has got three major ingredients, who has the element of 조하신. 조하신 is the God who created all of the things in the universe, and 치화신 means the God who rules the universe, and 교화신 means the God who teaches the people. By the way, there is a scene that God showed Mr. Kim Moon his real ability. First, he showed his ability of the God of the creation, in which he concentrated lots of molecules, atoms, and electrons, etc., on one point of the space, and there he made a star. It means planet here, instantly. Next, he told Mr. Kim about his ruling ability. That is, he explained the holy place and the sanctuary of Israel, and he explained its relationship with the division and truth line of the Korean Peninsula. He said that he has intervened in this Korean situation. We cannot think of this sort of great capability without considering the God of the universe. And this sort of experience and this sort of competence shows us the ability of the God who rules the universe. The role of the teaching of God contains his various teaching and preaching to Mr. Kim. Therefore, in my opinion, the God whom Mr. Kim met was not only the God of Korea, but the God of the universe, who rules the whole cosmos. Second, in the explanation of the ability of the God, he said that himself was the existence of the omniscience and omnipotence, and he exists all in the universe, and he was the Alpha and Omega. He showed Mr. Kim some of the concrete examples. First, he took an example of his ability of the omniscience and omnipotence. He said that he could know all of the thoughts of all the people living in the whole universe at the same time. Quite surprising, isn't it? As a matter of fact, in the galaxy where we live, there are supposed to exist nearly 300 or 400 billion stars. And so the number of the planets in it can be presumed to be 9 or 8 times of them. What a marvelous number it is. Then, just think of the number of all the planets in the whole universe. We can think that the number of all the planets in the universe is 30 times of 10 or 40 times of 10, etc. And it can be the number of 황하사. 황하사 means this word is used when we mention the greatest number of the mathematics. But it is said that actually there are some numbers which is greater than this 황하사. Anyway, 황하사 is the number of the sand grains on the shore of the Yellow River of China. Therefore, the ability with which the God can know all of the human beings residing in all of these planets at the same time is quite unimaginable. However, I suppose that this fact concerning the ability of the God of the universe is quite real. The reason is that in the book Tell Us One, this is the book Tell Us One. In the book Tell Us One, there is a story concerning God. This book deals with the inside world of the earth, and it was published by the book company 은하문명. It is said that the inner world has mountains and the sea as well as the field, and it has total 120 cities. This book is quite marvelous one, and I think it is necessary to read it once. You can buy it in the bookstores presently. There are Tell Us 1, and this is Tell Us 2, and this book is Tell Us 3. A Tibetan monk called Obsang Rampa took part in a meeting in the inside world of the earth. And at the meeting, the God of the universe took part in the meeting too. God said to all of the present in everyone's language at the same time, and he said to them, in the sun that is in the sky of the inside world. In light of this fact, we can suppose that God can know the thought of all of the people living in the whole planets of the universe at the same time. Furthermore, I think that God can talk to all of the people in the universe with each other's language at the same time. And this ability can be said to be so marvelous and astonishing. In addition, the God's utterance that he was the Alpha and Omega is true too, because he exists from the beginning step to the last step of the universe. Third, the reason why the existence who Mr. Kim met was the genuine creative God of the universe is that he said Mr. Kim with the prestige, 권위, prestige and power, 권세 in Korean. We know well that Buddha or Jesus Christ taught the people concerning the consciousness or the function of the mind of the human beings. However, the examples of the following words cannot be uttered by the masters who have reached the fifth dimension or several steps higher than this step. The example words are as following. I will make Korea the first and most brilliant country on the earth, which has not existed in the past or will not exist in the future. You will watch some miraculous happenings in Korea in the future, and you may also think of this sort of thing as my deed. The only existence of the God who rules the whole earth can say this sort of words. Sometimes anyone can say as following. This is the only kind of story which Mr. Kim Moo-gun wrote like a fiction. Therefore, now let's think of the wonder as to whether Mr. Kim made a fiction or not. As it is known that Mr. Kim Moo-gun entered a great company, 대기업, great company, and taught the students at a girls' high school, we cannot think that he is beyond the level of the general elite group. That is, he is an elite. As Mr. Park Chan-ho, the manager of the 은하운명 publishing company, said concerning the above-mentioned Mr. Kim's entrance of the great company while the teaching career, we can think that all the facts concerning his career is correct. Furthermore, the fact that Mr. Kim suffered greatly as he had fought against the dark spirits is supposed to be correct too, because the manager Park mentioned this fact as a testimony. Then, did Mr. Kim, who had such a past hard experience, write such sentences which look like a fictitious novel, and did he give it to manager Mr. Park so as to escape from the poverty of his life? I think that he did not do so with two reasons. The first reason is that he hid himself to a place that no one knows about. Probably he did so because he perceived some unfriendly consciousness of the people toward him, or probably he did so in order to watch the response of the readers of his book, or he retreated one step back so as to advance 2 steps forward. Everyone can think that he is the person who will not retreat from the present situation concerning his book, in light of the fact that whenever he met God, he swore to God repeatedly that he would do his best in order to reveal the glory of God. Another reason is that the thing that God told to Mr. Kim seems to be enormous and to be on the higher level of the dimension in comparison with that which Jesus Christ or Buddha taught the people in terms of the scale of the phrase or the contents of the utterance. For example, as we can read in the New Testament, that which Jesus Christ told the people on a mountain named 산상수훈. 산상수훈 means teaching on a mountain. It is considered to be his main and important teaching, but it is only several pages in the Bible. However, most of the contents of this book, this 한민족의 비밀과 사명, this book is as important and significant or more important over several dimensions than the teachings on the mountains of Jesus Christ. And so we can think that it is quite magnificent. In other words, in my opinion, this book has the contents which cannot be compared with those of the masters who appeared in the history of the globe in quality and quantity. For these various reasons, I think that this book, 한민족의 비밀과 사명, that is the secret and mission of the Korean people, contains the words of the God. Mr. Kim Moo-gun had a quite special experience in which an Om incantation penetrated his body and it was carved on his backbone. After that occurrence, he was attacked by some of the bad spirits severely, and as he found it very hard to endure it, he tried to commit suicide several times. However, he survived every time, and he spent his life with no job. Then, one night, a human being who was changed from the invisible God of the universe into an old man appeared in front of Mr. Kim Moo-gun in his dream, and began to talk with Mr. Kim. God explained the reason why Mr. Kim had such a horrible experience, and he explained the situation of the global societies and the future of Korea, and he told Mr. Kim the thing that he had to do in detail. God explained that the ancestors of Korean people are the Aryans from the Big Dipper constellation, 북두칠성 in Korean, and they set up the ancient Korea, and that while the people of Israel have got the consciousness of the selected tribe of race, 선민의식 in Korean race, the Korean people have got the consciousness of the God's descendants. It means 천손의식, 신의 아들, 천손의식 in Korean. He said again that while the Israeli tribe led the people of the earth in the past era, the Korean people will lead the global societies in the future. And that the reason why the Korean people who are weak and containing the small country will lead the residents of the globe is that God has selected the Korean people and will accompany them. The meaning that the Jewish people led the global societies is that the global residents have read the New Testament, which is the teachings of Jesus Christ, and in addition to it, they have read the Old Testament, which is the history of Israel, and they, in this case, I mean the global residents, have enhanced themselves in the sphere of the Spirit. This is my annotation. In other words, the global societies will have no wars among the continents, among the countries in the future, and will be changed into a paradise. And in this case, the most important thing is the mind of love. The reason why the creative God has selected the people of Korea and has got the mind to make Korea the heavenly country is that even though Korea has been invaded by other countries 900 times historically, she has not invaded other countries even one time. And so, Korean people are the peace-oriented and good-hearted race.